Hello, this is Crystal Racing with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the teammate battles at every team in Formula 1 for 2019. Starting off with Mercedes, where it's pretty clear to see that Lewis Hamilton is probably going to demolish Valtteri Bottas yet again. There's not much for me to say other than Bottas is in serious trouble. And on to the next one. It's Ferrari with a battle that everyone is going to be closely anticipating, with a very close eye between Sebastian Vettel, who has come off the back of a fairly erratic 2018 season, and the new boy Charles Leclerc. Sebastian Vettel is won the survey with just 54% of the 602 votes. This season is going to be absolutely massive for Sebastian Vettel's career. The fact of the matter is, I think it's pretty safe to say, if Vettel does not win the World Championship this year, he is in major trouble. Even if he beats Charles Leclerc, the fact of the matter is, he needs to at least beat Charles Leclerc by quite a fair margin, by at least 50 odd points, to ensure that he still is a top driver, and not only that, make sure he gets on top of him in the races and out-qualifies him, because otherwise the tension is going to get quite big at Ferrari. Next up, it's Red Bull, where, of course, just like at Mercedes, it's very clear to see Max Verstappen will probably dominate. I don't think that's beyond any surprise. The results here, 87% of 423 votes. Pierre Gasly should be happy if he can get close though. And at Renault, this was now I thought this would be a close fight between Hulkenberg and Ricciardo in the survey, but no. 79% of my voters thought that Ricciardo will dominate Hulkenberg, with out of the 428 people who took part in it. But I have to say, I think Hulkenberg is going to put Ricciardo under some serious pressure. He's serious. This survey proves that Hulkenberg is really underrated in my books. Massively underrated. And now at Haas, I jokingly started off the survey by saying who will crash the least, but of course it was really to ask who will score more points, and Kevin Magnussen came out on top with 57% out of the 414 votes. I think that's a very fair result, because let's be honest, Grosjean is frankly gonna probably spend the rest of his career being quite an erratic driver. I don't really think Grosjean is ever gonna have a consistent season ever again, I'm afraid. But you know, he has given a lot to the Haas team. He was the guy who gave them point scoring finishes in their first two races within the top 6 at Australia and Bahrain back in 2016. And Gene Haas and Gunther Steiner want to repay that loyalty, although of course if he has yet another bad start, I think that will be the end of Roman. And at McLaren, of course, I also did a survey between who will get more points between Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris. Out of 410 votes, Carlos Sainz came out on top with 78%. Quite frankly, I think as long as Lando doesn't embarrass himself, I think Lando can be pleased with himself as long as he does show he has talent on occasions, while of course Carlos Sainz will be expected to score the bulk of the points. At Force Racing Point, as they're now called, of course the newly rebranded Force India team saw Sergio Perez receive 89% of the votes here in my survey, with Lance Stroll expected to only getting 11% out of the 411 votes. And quite frankly, I think Sergio Perez is probably going to score 2/3 of the team's points. And I think for Lance Stroll, his target is to really try and get as close to Sergio Perez and improve over the course of the season. And at the newly rebranded Alfa Romeo team, which will be ran by Sauber, Kimi Raikkonen absolutely cakewalked this poll with 95%. I'm pretty certain Antonio Giovinazzi is going to do well, but I'm pretty certain Kimi will get more points. And that's not even when you take into consideration the fact that I'm a Kimi fan and that most of the people who took part in that poll are presumably Kimi Raikkonen fans themselves. But having said that, I'm pretty certain that Kimi will score more points, and if it does turn out to be the case that Giovinazzi does outperform him, I think unfortunately that is probably going to be the end of Kimi if such a scenario occurs. At Toro Rosso, of course they have a new driver pairing of Danny Kvyat, who's coming back after a year out, and of course Formula 2 driver Alex Albon, where the vote was 66% in favour of Danny Kvyat. 419 people took part. I think it's pretty fair to say that Kvyat will probably score more points, although if he does go back to his antics of 2017, then that's probably going to be the end of him. And last but not least, yes, the one that you've been waiting for. Who will win the teammate battle at Williams between Robert Kubica and George Russell? And of course, I deliberately skewed their names to shorten it to the initials of their surnames, because I know there's quite a few Robert Kubica fans that can be a bit too overzealous. Robert Kubica came out in front with 53%. Out of a vote, 439 people who voted. I think it's going to be close. I don't know what the result's going to be. It all depends whether Williams produce a good car. So, thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to Crystal Racing, and I will see you again next time.